Now I must say that Karachuonyo is under siege. Most parts are submerged by water.
Nyagida Primary completely under flood. Magare struggling, halfway submerged under the floods.
People have been cut off from basic services like health.
We are members of parliament from Homa Bay County. I'm the member of parliament for Homa Bay Town constituency, which is the headquarters of Homa Bay County. I'm with my colleague and brother, the Honorable Andrew Okuome Adepo, the MP for Karachuonyo. Both our constituencies, and generally, as you all know it, Homa Bay County is called a bay because it is land entering the lake. Homa Bay County has the longest stretch of Lake Victoria in Kenya, and so it lies very low by the lake. Due to the ongoing El Nino flooding, Homa Bay County has been affected like no other county, and I imagine no other area in Kenya. I think the areas which may be equally affected are those bordering the Indian Ocean. You saw what happened in Mombasa. You know what is happening across areas around lakes and big water bodies. Homa Bay County, and particularly Homa Bay Town constituency, Karachuonyo constituency, and Suba North constituency, end at the lake where the major rivers terminate into the lake. The whole of yesterday night, more than half the population of Homa Bay Town constituency living by the lake had to be evacuated. A number of them had to be relocated and be settled in schools. Homes have been swept by the raging floods due to this El Nino, and all our earth roads have been swept. All schools lying by the lake are currently under floods. I don't know what we are going to do when schools open. We are here, therefore, to say what is happening in Homa Bay Town constituency. The same is the case with Karachuonyo. The same is the case with Suba North. Honorable Millie Odhiambo would have been with us, but she's out of the country. And the same is also the case with Rangwe and the end of Suba South, entering, the lake at the belt of those, the delta of those very big rivers. So our people are marooned. We are here to tell the nation that is the situation in Homa Bay, and to call for help from government as fast as possible for our people. We need help in terms of food. We need help in terms of even materials for sleeping and clothing for those families which have been infrastructure have been demolished. The latrines are all down, I'm told, in all schools neighboring the lake. You go to Ambla Primary, completely marooned. Rangwena Primary, completely marooned. A school like Gotrabur, completely marooned. Shauriako, which is a school with over 5,000 pupils, primary school, the biggest in the constituency, by the lake, completely marooned. Nyagida Primary, completely under flood. Magare, struggling, halfway submerged under the floods. So we want to call on the relevant government agency. I'm told that this currently is being dealt with directly under the office of the Deputy President, Gachagua. I wanted to call on his office not to take his eye out of Homa Bay, and to remember that Homa Bay has the largest stretch of Lake Victoria, and have it when we are addressing the effects of this El Nino floods, which we are now told is going up to February, both in terms of long-term and those immediate measures. I want to allow my colleague, the MP for Karachuonyo, to also mention the situation at his area. But we need the intervention, very quick intervention from the government, and I'm happy the Cabinet Secretary met a short while back to address the effects of El Nino. We've never seen such a thing in Homa Bay Town and generally in Homa Bay County. Normally it has been on the other side of the lake. The raging floods have currently submerged all areas and all villages along the lake, and I believe the government will come in handy and come in quick because this is the first time as a people we are seeking this intervention. I thank you very much for now. I want the Honorable Andrew Adipo Kwome, the MP for Karachuonyo, to say something, but we've been joined by Honorable Beatrice Ogola. Honorable Beatrice Ogola also comes from Homa Bay County, specifically Ndewa sub-county, part of which is also affected, and generally she is a senator in the Senate. She'll also have something to say.
Yeah. Thank you very much, my friend and colleague. Now, I must say that Karachuonyo is under siege. Most parts are submerged by water. And incidentally, I have seven wards within the constituency. Only one of them is not touching the lake. The rest are. And those wards which are touching the lake shore are having big problem. Now, if I start with Kibiri, at Bala, even yesterday, my people were there. We persuaded Red Cross to be with them. I would say they were there from the day before yesterday. And they did a good job. I must say that I thank them. Then West Karachuonyo, a number of places like Alum and so forth are also submerged underwater. You go to North Karachuonyo, the same thing. Then you come to Central Ward, the same thing. Then you come to Wangtiang Ward, we have the same problem. I was there at home some 3-4 days back. In fact, the situation is pathetic. I bought some food stuff and I distributed it only in 2 places as an emergency measure, hoping that whatever I was planning for was soon going to be available through Red Cross. The Red Cross people have been very useful to us, and yesterday they gave some food, in addition to what I had given before. The governor of the area had also given some food just a few days before my arrival. Today, they are doing the same. That's the Red Cross. They are giving food in the area. And whatever they are giving, I must admit, is not enough. Although I thank them for that big effort. The effort has helped so many people, but it is still very inadequate. Now, I would say that mine is perennial. All the time when there is heavy rain, we suffer. We also suffer sometimes when we don't have any rain at all. But in the islands, there are heavy downpours. When that happens, the river, particularly Miriu, will bring water from up in the hills down to the lake, and when the river is approaching the lake, after the hills there, the ground is flat, so the flood occurs. I'm making efforts, and I've appealed to the government that they build dikes to protect us against this flooding. That's now a matter concerning both me and the MP for Nyakach. We have worked together and approached the government. It is our hope that something will happen, but before it happens, we are under that big problem. In fact, I was even thinking I should build an evacuation center, a place where people can reside when occasions like this happen. Now, I must admit it is not easy to get assistance from the government on this one. I've tried ever since I became an MP of Karachuonyo in the year 2017, but up to now, I don't have any tangible response from the government. it is my sincere appeal, and a very strong one, that they come to our aid. We need that aid and need it very, very urgently. I think with that appeal, probably I just say, well, let me hope for good luck. Yeah.
Senator will say something.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Senator Beatrice Ogola here. I think on the floods, on the issue of floods, we are saying as leaders that floods must be declared as soon as possible a national disaster, and with that, the attention of the government must be enhanced. Right now in Homa Bay County, as my colleagues have stated, most of the places are not passable. Our people are sleeping out in the cold, as stated in Karachuonyo, in Rangwe, in Homa Bay constituency, in Beta constituency, and Ndewa constituency where I come from. All the roads, I think in Beta, Ndewa constituency are not passable. Our people have been cut off from basic services like health. Women and children are not able to access health because the roads are all broken down. And as we see, a number of families are sleeping out because their houses have been destroyed. And we call upon the national government to enhance the support that is currently being provided by the county government so that our people are supported in terms of foodstuff, in terms of household provisions, and basically just look at the general care. We cannot wait as a county to see that lives are lost, as we saw in Mombasa and in other areas. So the national government must be on standby. Services to the people of the county must be enhanced, and we request that this must be done as soon as possible.
That attention should go to areas which border large water bodies like Victoria.
Yes.
As we have said, Homa Bay has the longest stretch of Lake Victoria. This is something people do not know. Yeah. And when we talk of that side of Kenya, people think Kisumu is Homa Bay, and everything begins and ends at Kisumu. The fact of the matter is that the stretch of Lake Victoria in Kenya, which is longest, is along Homa Bay County. And by the way, the reason it is called a bay is that it is land entering the lake. So you can imagine when there is flooding. In terms of short-term measures, we are appealing to the government to ensure that those families which have been evacuated have something to eat. The health provisions for children, that is a malaria-prone area, yeah, cholera-prone area. The health ministry should plunge in so that in addition to flooding, we don't have, these other adverse effects from, diseases, waterborne diseases, which may come up there. Our people currently don't even have where to sleep. If there are beds, if there is relief food, let them go to Homa Bay. But in the long term, as my colleague has said, sometimes we feel very bad at the level of Parliament when you see like 2 dams being done on a seasonal river, yet none is being planned around the counties where lakes like Lake Victoria are. If we just had a dam up somewhere in Homa Bay County, all that water now, killing families down the lake would have been, trapped and would have been made useful for other purposes. But you have things like Aror, Kwakamorer in a river which is seasonal, and you have billions of money going there. You have dams being forced in places, yet there are places where they can be trapped. If we had Sondu, Koruson or Soin Dam across here, which is being removed from the budget every time, the flooding in Ahero would not be there. And yet there would be water in Kericho, there would be water in Washingishu, there would be water in Nandi, there would be water for Kisumu, and water supplied freely instead of waiting for floods to kill people. We want to urge government on a short term. We know long term may be a problem, but we need very quick intervention for our people, the people of Homa Bay County and people living around the lake as the floods continue to rage. We thank you very much.
Just along what you have said. Now, when I proposed to the government the building of dikes, it was not just to be a dike, per se, so that we direct water to Lake Victoria to help Egyptians alone. What we wanted is a dike to lead water to a dam first. Not a whole lot of that water coming from the river, but we can divert part of that water to a dam. And this dam can be used for irrigation, so that during the dry season, we have available water to carry on with our agricultural activities. This, I think, is important because it will be a food security issue, the kind of thing we really need in Kenya. I wanted to add that because it's essential.
More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge.